and makes you be able to afford more pieces and get there faster. There is where you don't feel like a noodle anymore and you start feeling pleasure and enjoyment in PvP and in PvE as well. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video goes out to all of you new players out there. Nice to meet you. I'm Saivo, a lifetime AION player, and today I'm gonna teach you all of the basics that you need to know before starting AION, how to start it and how to make your first steps in the game. As you might have heard, AION is getting somewhat of a relaunch in 2018 with patch 6.2, and I want to make sure that you get all your basics right. We're gonna talk today about regions, servers, classes and factions. I'm gonna tell you everything about them. These are your first baby steps in the game. These are your first important decisions. And because I don't want to make this video extremely long, I won't get into extremely many details on all of these things. However, I do have a separate video how to choose your class in which I tell you everything you need to know about each class. I have a video how to level up. I'm gonna link everything that's important for you as a new player in the description below. And if you're interested in AION, or if you want to try it out, or if you want to know things from beginner level to super advanced theory crafting level, then you should definitely subscribe to my channel. Now let's start with the beginning, and that is choosing the right client. In the West, AION is available in Europe and in North America. So if you're in North America or close to North America, you should choose the North American client, linked below. There is a different publisher than the European client. In North America, they have NC West as a publisher. In Europe, we have Gameforge. If you're in Europe or if you live closer to Europe than to North America, you should choose the European client, also linked below. The differences in between the two clients in terms of gameplay are absolutely non-existent. There are slight differences in terms of what the publishers offer, the events, the prices in the cash shop and so on, but these are small differences and they are adjusted to North Americans versus Europeans in terms of consumers. That's about it. You got the game, you're ready to go, you're faced with your first important choice, and that's the server that you're gonna pick. I will talk a little bit about new servers versus old servers from your point of view as a new player. I think you should pick an already existing server, and let me tell you why. Reason number one, and the most important one, is the gearing up process. In AION, one of the best ways, if not the best way to gear up as a new player in PvP gear is by using or buying from the broker crafted PvP gear. Crafted PvP gear in AION is the second best set in game, and it is tradable. You can buy it from the auction house, the broker, etc. This is the best way for you to get there faster, to start feeling viable in PvP faster, to start really enjoying the game and your class, because you kinda, are almost there compared to other people. On a new server, there's gonna be fewer people, which means fewer crafters, which obviously means fewer mats that are being farmed around the world, and that means higher prices for the gear that you need to purchase with your earned Kina. On an existing server, there's hundreds of players on each faction, there's hundreds of crafters, and because of that there's going to be more competition in terms of prices. And competition in terms of prices on the broker, on the auction house, for you as a consumer means a better price, which makes you happier and makes you be able to afford more pieces and get there faster. There is where you don't feel like a noodle anymore and you start feeling pleasure and enjoyment in PvP and in PvE as well. The second reason is the actual population of the server. There comes a time when you would like to find people that you enjoy playing with. There comes a time when you would like to make a pre-made for some harder PvE content or a pre-made for some harder PvP content. Having a lot more people to choose from is obviously much better than having few people to choose from. What if they don't do good? What if you don't like to play with them? What if they're just not your style of players? Then you're kind of stuck with them if you have 100 people at endgame on a new server compared to 1,000 people at endgame on an already existing server. That is my reason number 2, finding the right people for the right content. Reason number 3 are all of the other 99 problems that you're gonna have as a new player on a new server. I'm talking here about every consumable in game, such as premium membership, enchantment stones for your gear, mana stones for your gear, pots, foods, and so on and so forth, right? I could go on forever about the things that you will need in AION eventually. At the beginning, it's all dandelions and roses, it's all nice, you don't need to worry about anything, you just enjoy your game. However, in a few months time, you wanna start kicking ass, you wanna start being competitive, you wanna start, looking good and stuff like that. So these all are things that on an established server, they are present in abundance, and because of that, they are affordable. On a new server, you're not the only one who needs all of this shit, and shit is not available because everyone else is new, everyone else needs as much and as many things as you need, because you're all quote-unquote new there, right? So because of the demand is so high and the supply will be so low, that is basically my main point, that there is absolutely no reason to do so. The only thing that you're gaining from being or playing as a new player on a new server is the open world PvP, which that is done exclusively your faction versus the other faction on your server. You will never be matched in open world PvP versus another faction from another server, right? From an existing one. So that is the only positive that you get out of being on a new server. And even that positive comes with a little minus attached to it. And the minus is the fact that very many players on your new server are going to be veterans that are trying to desperately chase a fresh start somewhere. So they are already gonna know how to play every class in the game much better than you do. And not only that, they come as a pre-made most of the times, they come with past knowledge, they come with experience, and they are going to also gear up faster than you and also do everything better than you. So in reality, you think you're a new player on a new server in AION's relaunch, and you think that because of that, you're gonna find other new players and be one-on-one 100% fair. That's not gonna happen. You're running away from an established server to join a new server for absolutely no reason. You would rather get your ass kicked on an established server by myself for a month or two, but you also have the realistic chance of getting the same gear as I have really fast. If you farm, if you put in the effort, you have the realistic chance to ask questions from good players, established players, valuable players, myself not included, but there's many others that you can learn from your class. Who are you gonna learn from on a new server? Who are you gonna ask questions? Maybe the veterans that are there, and maybe they're gonna wanna help you. At least that's a positive, that there's so many veterans go always chasing new starts on new servers. At least you can ask questions, right? But on an existing server, there's 10 times more veterans and 10 times the amount of players that you can ask from, play with and learn from, and not to mention gear up, get consumables, skins, whatever you want, groups for PvE, for PvP, etc, etc. Anyway guys, the decision is up to you, and it is a very important decision. Make it wisely. After you pick your server, you're faced with the most important choice in AION, and that is your faction. You can either go for Asmodians or you can go for Ilios. This is entirely up to you, and the differences in between Asmodian and Ilios are only aesthetics. Asmodians, as you can clearly see from the picture, they come in paler skin tones, a little bit darker overall with darker wings, and Ilios come a little bit lighter, more tanned, more towards the angelic side, Asmodians more towards the demonic side. In terms of leveling up process, there is also a difference in aesthetics. The zones that Asmodians have are a little bit darker, cloudier with more snow, while Ilios have brighter, sunnier zones while leveling up. When you reach end game, the differences in between Asmodian and Ilios fade away because all of us are in one huge map together with different starting points, and that's about it. It's only the leveling process and character creation. These days I can tell you that even character creation is not so different as it used to be before. You can still make an ugly looking or a demonic looking Ilios, and you can make a pretty cute looking Asmodian as well. So I'm gonna leave this up to you, no bias here. And yeah, let's just move onwards to the classes. AION has 11 classes in total, and those 11 classes branch out from 6 starting professions. We have the warrior, the scout, the mage, the priest, the engineer, and the artist. Warrior is a physical DPS profession which branches out at level 9 to Templar and Gladiator. Templars are the main tanks of the game with a lot of defensive cooldowns, while Gladiators are AoE beasts that can also tank. Moving on to Scout. Scout is a physical DPS profession as well that branches out into Ranger and Assassin at level 9. Assassins are the rogue type of class, stealthy, bursty, fast, everything you would expect from them. Rangers are the bow and arrow class and everything that you would expect from other games. They do not have pets, but they do have traps. Mages are a magical DPS profession. They branch out at level 9 into Sorcerer and Spirit Master. Sorcerer is the typical mage, fireballs, lava, great burst, longer cooldowns, etc. While Spirit Master is the necromancer warlock type of class in AION that has a summon or various summons, and yeah, they just do damage over time, magical one at that. Priest branches out to Chanter and Cleric at level 9. Cleric is the main healer of the game and is a magical DPS class if needed. Chanter is a support class with a lot of boons, a lot of mantras, a lot of useful skills for groups, and is a physical DPS class if needed. Moving on to Engineers, they branch out to Aethertechs and Gunners at level 9. A Gunner is a ranged magical DPS class. Nice burst, 2 pistols, sustainable damage as well. Gunners can also use a cannon, as you see here in this other image, and then behind you see the Aethertech, which is your character embarking this particular, well, not this, depends on the skin, but a robot, and then you use robot-y transformers looking skills. Fists with reactors, leaps, bounces. Aethertech is also a magical DPS class, same as the Gunner. Aethertech can also be a tank. Moving on to Artist. Artist branches out only into one, and that is the Bard so far. Bards are like bards. They provide lots of boons for the group. They have access to some nice CC. It is a pleasant class, an easier class to play, let's say, that can do a decent amount of damage, but can also do a decent amount of support. Bard is a magical DPS class as well. And that's everything for this basic starter guide. These are all the things that you need to know before jumping on your character in game and starting to level. And I wish you a lot of fun in game. If you have any questions about the video or starting out in AION in general, ask me in the comments below. Either me or one of the people from this lovely community will answer. Until my next video, thank you so much for watching. Lots of love and see you soon.